Hi, folks. I'm just about to release version 7.4 of the awesomeORB strategy, and I've just decided to create this short video and illustrate the new breakout modes, namely the MidCoreORB and the DyanCore breakout modes. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the strategy, I'd like to touch on the BWT, that's the Blue Wave Trading Core Levels indicator, which is the key component for these two breakout modes. Now, on the chart is a trading day with the price action remove. Everything you're looking at was drawn up before the session opened, took away the bars and the candles. So what we see here are just the BWT precision core levels. So we have the first levels to consider, which is the high and low mid one. And then we have the expected high, and then the high mid two, and then an extended high. The mid one is the closest to the open. The expected high and low is the day's realistic objective or realistic target. The mid two beyond that, then extended. And we also have the POC, which will come to play with the DynCore breakout mode. I'll explain later on. But obviously, we all know this is the POC where most of the volume has been traded. And that is the map, okay? Just to give you a heads up, what happens now is the mid one, high and low are now our opening range. That is our opening range. It is no longer a time base or a volume base opening range. It is a base based solely on many years of statistical data and volatility of the previous session. The mid one, high, low, and all the other levels are formed at exactly 9:30 in the morning. And then at 10:30, there's a recalculation or recalibration. So another opening range is formed at 9:30. It could be bigger, smaller, depends on the activity of the first hour. So in essence, every day we'll have two opening ranges that we will be trading against or with. On just an aside, the going back to the BWT core levels, it also creates an opening range for the London session at 3 o'clock and a recalibration at 4 o'clock, which means that at some future time, if I am able to formulate or get value templates that could trade the London session, that's something that I could or would consider in the future. So now let's go to the breakout mode. Here's the first breakout mode, which is called the MidCoreORB. As you can see now, this is the opening range, which is the mid-low and the mid-high. And that's it. Everything else pretty much remained the same, except for the fact that once it breaks out, the first target will be the next closest core level. So in this case, it broke out of mid one, and the next target is expected high. And as you can see, price action hits it or almost wicks it and turns around. At 9:30, another orb forms, and initially this one was targeting this level here, which is the mid two. When a recalibration is or recalculated at 1030, the strategy will automatically move down to the expected high if that has not been um, hit yet. And in this case, it wasn't. So the target, the strategy actually moved the target from up here to the expected high. And lo and behold, it hit it and bounced down. So these levels are pretty amazing. And it, in my opinion, a game changer in terms of the opening range formation and the selection of viable targets. Okay, just a few more examples. Let's go to the next day. Okay, I think this next day was a loser, obviously. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is the opening range. Here's an interesting example. Opening range opens. It moves very fast and gets almost to the middle, as close to the expected low as possible. And what it does though is if the strategy becomes too close to the target, it either will not trade it. It is a parameter in the strategy, or it will go to the next target. The template that I'm using goes to the next target. Now you can change it so it doesn't trade, or you can change the proximity filter so that it will take trades that are less than 27 ticks. In this case, it tried to get to this target, which is the mid two, failed, and got stopped out. Now 1030 opening range opens up. First target is expected high, and the second target is mid two. Both of them hit in this day. All right. Okay, so let's move on. I don't want to make this, I want to make this like a short video. The DynCore is a little different because it only has one target. Okay, but it does a stair step approach. So what happens, same thing, we break out, pull back, secondary breakout, goes to TP1 and it only has TP1. Once it gets to that level, a new setup needs to form, and then it goes down to the next level and so on and so forth. Okay, so in this case, it got to the first level, to the second level, turn around, got back into the orb. And here's another feature: once it gets in the orb, it'll trade the orb inside the orb from either the lower part of the orb to the POC, which is this blue line. You can take the whole thing out of here 100%, or you can go in this case it went 50-50, um 50-50 of the contracts. All right, let's go for another example. Okay, again we have a false breakout here. As you can see, it went to the first target, does another breakout, pullback, breakout, this new sequence, the sequence we always are familiar with, okay? It needs that sequence and validates this level as a valid level to go to the next one. And that's what it did. And then on this level, again, it tried to validate it again, pull back, I'm sorry, breakout, pull back right at the level. Now these are a bunch of probably weak candles. It finally found a strong candle and went for the final target. Now, this is 1, 2, 3. That has to be the maximum number. Right now, this is still not coded, but it should not have taken this last target. It's just too much, right? It's getting too exhausted here. Um, in future releases, you can specify how many steps is valid, 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to set it for 3 based on statistical data that I got. Okay, let's see one more here. And here's another example, stair step, right, approach. Okay, so that's the difference. So DynCore has multiple targets, has one target per level, multiple levels. MidCore is just breaks out from the orb and has TP1 and TP2. So real quickly, I'd like to go over the with this release, I'm going to provide 4 templates. And these templates are the ones I'm going to use. I'm resetting the payout challenge. And I'm going to be using these templates to get from funded status to payout status. That's the goal. That is the payout challenge. The first one is a 25K account. And this only trades on the MidCore. Okay. As you can see, the maximum drawdown is 1,300. Most 25K account, at least the ones I'm trading, has a maximum drawdown of 1,500. So there's still some leeway there to get to for you not to blow the account. Okay, and this has an average profit per month of 900, almost 1,000 per month. So it'll probably take you about 3 months to get to payout status with this template. Okay, it's got a healthy profit 2-year profit. I'm sorry, 2-year equity curve. The next template is for the 50K. It's also MidCore. Yes. Okay, this one has a 1,600 profit per month. And the maximum drawdown, now most 50K is 2,500 drawdown. This has 2,100. So that's, again, some leeway there. And it'll take you about 2 months to get to payout status approximately, right? So 1,600 plus 16, that's 3,200. That gets you to payout status. Again, looking at the equity curve, nice healthy equity curve, daily, monthly, yes. Then there's the choice using the DynCore. Okay, so let's see what's the difference, right? So this is at almost 39,000. DynCore template will get you to 42,000. However, the drawdown is a little bigger. It actually exceeds the 2,500, but not by much. So I'm going to trade the 50,000 using this, and this has a 1,700. I will, it's up to you as a trader whether you want to use the MidCore or the DynCore. DynCore has a little bit more risk, but it does take more trades, and it does the stair step approach. So it's a different approach. It's up to you what your trading style that you want to use. But I'm offering both that you can deploy uh, for your trading. All of it obviously has a very healthy equity curve. And lastly, I have a MidCoreORB Turbo. This is a very unique template designed to accelerate the to accelerate your status from funded to payout the quickest as quickly as possible with a nuance. Okay, so as you can see, this is a 94% chance of winning every day. Okay, but the average losing trade is about 2,900. Okay, so what does this do? So let's say you get a funded Bullanox account and you want to get to payout status as quickly as possible. Well, you can use this Daily profit. Okay. And you can trade it. In this case, let's say you start trading here on 7:30. On the second day, you're already at payout status. You go to a different account, another Bullinox account. You trade it for 2 days or 3 days, and then you shift gears and you use one of these. Okay. Now, eventually, you're going to come across a losing day, like 4% or 5% of the time. And that's it. You blow that account. That's it. That's the way this thing works. You go for another account, trade it for a couple of days. Depends on the risk, how risk averse you are. You can just boost it one day and that's it. Stop, shift gears. Okay. This will be one of the other payout challenge I'm gonna do. I mean, these things can go for days, right? This is obviously account blown. And then look, one, two, three, four, five, six. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going, right? And you can get as many accounts, like let's say a Bullinox account, to payout status very quickly. Okay, couple of things though, right? This only trades 3 times a day: Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right, and it only trades between 9:30 and 10:30, right? So 10:30 up 10 o'clock to 10:30, so that's 1 hour, 9:30 to 10:30. If you do not get a trade that day, you can switch gears and use one of these templates. I'm just saying that because on Bullinox, you have to trade a certain amount of time. You can't be stagnant for more than a few days. And if you look at this closely on the daily, so let's say in last month, 7-6, and then there's a big couple of days before another trade, and then 2 days, and then 5 days, 2 days, and then 6 days, right? So you got to be careful you don't get stagnant. But in this case, let's say last month, if you started trading last month, you could have gone to payout status twice. One, two, three, that's $3,000. One, two, three, $3,000, right? As soon as you get to payout status, either you go and take your payout, or you don't take your payout, or you take your payout, doesn't matter, and then you go to one of these modes. You shift gears. All right. Okay, that's basically it. I'm going to prepare and distribute the new release. And I'm going to provide the templates that I just talked about here. I'll be trading again on Monday, so hopefully I'll see some of you folks in our low approach trading room. Have a good night.